Yo guys, what is up? It is Alex or Black Eye here. A few weeks ago, I made a video discussing 24/7 AFK drop streams, as well as the teaser HiRez did to promote Maui that was in a similar vein to 24/7 drop streams. I wasn't planning on making a follow-up video, but there have been some developments that I believe are worth going over. So in this video, we're going to summarize my previous video, go over the development relating to 24/7 drop channels, as well as go over the shitstorm that happened on Twitter where a few 24/7 drop hosts decided to publicly speak up about the backlash in the HiRez announcement. So without further ado, let's get started. To summarize my last video, 24/7 drop streams are when people blatantly abuse the viewer points drop system for Twitch channels by making their stream live pretty much all the time, even if they're completely AFK. The community strongly dislikes 24/7 drop streams for a few reasons. 1. People believe these streams are potentially taking away viewers from other streams. 2. People believe these streams make SMITE look bad as a game since multiple of the top channels usually consist of AFK streams. 3. People believe hosting these streams are low effort. I then went on to discuss HiRez's teaser for Maui, but there aren't really any major developments that pertain to what I want to discuss in this video. I do acknowledge that HiRez has been streaming reruns of SPL matches, which have upset some people, but I wouldn't really consider that an AFK drop stream the same way other AFK drop streams are, so I'm not going to go into too much detail about that. The development that I hinted at earlier is a statement HiRez released on November 4th. Over the past few months, we've received a number of concerns from content creators around live streaming pre-recorded content, VODs, and AFK drop channels on streaming platforms. We've had several discussions around the topic and are now taking steps internally to ramp up our efforts to stop supporting anything that violates the spirit of the program. Effective immediately, you are expected to accurately label your content to the best of your ability. When choosing a category or tag, please choose whichever best describes your content. Deliberate or extensive misuse in labeling of live content, reruns, titles, tags, games, categories, or other metadata is prohibited and can result in denial or removal from the partner program, us withdrawing your ability to continue using HiRez material in live streams, and in extreme cases, action taken against your game account. They don't explicitly state that they will ban people for hosting AFK drop streams, but I'm inclined to believe they are for two reasons. 1. AFK drop streams is deliberately abusing the drop system, which is consistent with the line in their announcement, "Stop supporting anything that violates the spirit of the program." 2. A notorious AFK drop host was randomly banned on SMITE on November 3rd. There's a lot wrong with the tweet shown, but I'll go into that later. Discussing the actual ban towards this streamer in a vacuum, I actually disagree with the ban, assuming the reason is because he hosts 24/7 drop streams. This development is new, and putting myself in his shoes, it'd be very frustrating if something wasn't against the rules, HiRez suddenly decides that it is against the rules, and then you get banned with no prior warning. I dislike these streams as much as the next guy, but I do think it's unfair to a certain extent. I believe a better course of action would have been to issue these streamers a warning and then take action if they chose to ignore it. As I'm writing this script, he's currently streaming the login page to show that his account's been banned. And if you're watching this, Mr. DK Stars, there is a section on the support page to file a support ticket and request an unban. If you do this, I'd be extremely surprised if they denied your appeal for the reason I discussed earlier. It's just unfair in my opinion. Outside of that, HiRez is just enforcing people to accurately label content. I don't think they're being extremely strict with it and is just trying to crack down on much larger channels or channels that build a community off false advertising. This announcement does not affect 99.9% of creators. And that basically summarizes the announcement. But a few 24/7 drop streamers have been very vocal both towards myself and the community, so I'm going to go over what they've personally said to me and give my rebuttal. I know it's kind of implied, but please don't go out of your way to harass these people. If I recognize someone in my community doing this, I'm just going to block them. Again, it probably goes without saying because harassment is never okay. They've made claims where people from the SMITE community are messaging their family members, and if you do this, you're a fucking loser. Firstly, I'd like to briefly go over a response video that a 24/7 drop stream made about my initial video. She doesn't really refute any of my points and just spreads misinformation. Before she even watches the video, she accuses me of slander.
You're slandering my name, bro, and trying to hurt my reputation, which is going to hurt my livelihood of my family.
How can you accuse someone of slander if you haven't even watched the video? Maybe she watched the video beforehand, but that's not what's being advertised. Typically, when someone makes react content, it's implied that they haven't watched it before. Also, the definition of slander is the action or crime of making a false, spoken statement damaging a person's reputation. I never brought you up by name, and nothing I said was false. This isn't slander. It's criticism of the 24/7 drop channels as a whole, and you took it personally.
Back, and I was told that I can't take criticism because of this.
Correct. She makes one decent point from what I saw from this video. She brings up that she wants to be different because then people can differentiate her from other streamers, which I agree with to a certain extent. Look at the channels. Are there a few channels that seem different from the rest?
Different is
A few that
good.
just... Although if what you're doing that's different from everyone else is widely perceived as a negative thing, and it's not completely irrational, then different doesn't necessarily mean good. If I woke up one day and decided I'm going to play every single Smite game with my cheeks completely spread apart, exposing my raw asshole in front of the webcam, that would be different. But that doesn't necessarily mean it would be good. That's just a little hyperbole on my part, but you get the point. She also says the most insane, mind-boggling statement I've ever heard.
First of all, he's talking about our break screen. Not the effort we put in when we're actually on cam every day, playing Smite with the community. He's only pointing out our break screen. He is making that his sole topic, our break screen.
Yes, I'm criticizing the thing I want to criticize. My video isn't about you specifically or content you do outside of AFK streaming. If I'm making a video about Shrek 2, which is an absolute goat of a movie, by the way, I'm not going to say it's a bad movie just because the same company made Turbo, which is an actual dogshit movie. They are two completely separate pieces of content, and I don't think it's fair to come to a conclusion about one piece of content based on how good or bad a completely separate piece of content is. I stopped watching at this point because I wanted to save my mental sanity. Everything leading up to this had great insight, such as consisting of something else completely unrelated. Some have
Boo-hoo.
try my best.
Yeah.
I guess the final thing I want to add is that if the majority of your content is AFK streaming, then you are by definition an AFK streamer. It's funny that she calls this her break screen when the break screen is on display more than when she's actually playing Smite. I don't think I need to elaborate on why this is a dumb claim to make. But again, most of her arguments don't hold much weight because I wasn't criticizing her specifically, and that's what she's making out the video to be. Next, I'm going to go over a comment she made on the actual YouTube video she's reacting to. I'll start by addressing the comment on the initial video point by point. She begins stating how her and DK Stars do more than just AFK stream and have done good for the community. I've already gone over this, but I guess I'll say it again. The video wasn't a critique of her content, it was a critique of AFK streams as a whole. None of this is relevant to the video that you're commenting this on. She then makes the claim that I'm blaming others for my lack of success. I'd never made this claim. I don't know where that's coming from, but wow, you're calling my channel unsuccessful? That sounds pretty toxic to me, and really isn't a good vibe from a friendly community.
Yeah.
It's also worth noting that according to her, success is defined as setting goals and achieving them. Damn, I guess I've never really achieved a goal I've set for myself. Must just be a skill issue. She then tells me to focus on what I can do to improve instead of destroying somebody else. I'm not even gonna comment on this because the irony speaks for itself. She then makes the argument that people can choose to be in whatever live stream they want, and people just choose to be in hers, which I agree with. But she also says that insulting her means that I'm insulting people that choose to lurk in their streams. I never insulted her. I don't know where she's getting that. And also, in this exact video you're commenting on, I explicitly state that I don't judge people for choosing to lurk in AFK streams. Finally, I don't really judge people that do participate in lurking in these 24/7 drop streams. So I have no idea why you're making the claim that I'm insulting your viewers. When it comes to this point of people choosing to be in whatever live stream they choose, she seems to think that every single viewer chooses to be in her stream because she makes good content. I'm sure there are people that genuinely enjoy her content, but saying that every single person is there because they enjoy her content is a little misrepresentative, because I'm sure people are in there only because it's a very efficient way to farm viewer points since they are always live. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, just don't label it something that it isn't. I'm sure you guys get the point by now, but here's a few more dumb things I found. I also found this tweet where people figured out she gained 50,000 followers on one day on a social media platform, where she boldly claims, I deserve some respect. Newsflash, people that deserve respect don't fucking say that they deserve respect. I also find it extremely funny that they're pursuing legal action for deformation of character. I understand that she meant defamation of character, but it's just really funny to me that she misspelled the one word she was accusing people of and didn't bother to correct herself. It also just really bothers me when somebody has good and valid criticism and it's misconstrued as toxicity. Here's just 2 examples where they claim to stream on camera, not AFK, for 40 to 60 hours a week. Somebody refuted this point and DK Stars responded with, "This community is apparently very toxic." Another example is when someone makes the argument that there is some blame to put on them for all the backlash they've received, since no one called them out specifically, similar to what I said earlier. She decided to double down and once again just believes everything is about her instead of the AFK stream concept as a whole. Again, this bothers me just because she is constantly telling people to improve their own content, when criticism is one of the best ways creators can improve their own content. You can only get so far when you're completely by yourself in an echo chamber of positivity. Since the backlash, they've opted to stream pre-recorded highlights from other live streams they've done, which is against Twitch's terms of service. In 2020, Twitch updated their content policy to say that cheating any Twitch reward system is prohibited. And since they still have 24/7 mega drops in the title of these reruns, I do believe they are breaking Twitch TOS.
Yeah.
Honestly, DK Stars seems like a decent guy that is just pretty delusional, but overall I don't think he's a bad dude. Like, literal Twitter bot accounts were responding to his tweets and he was replying back to them, which was pretty comical. I can't really say the same about his wife, just based on the way she's handled this entire situation. She responded to a piece of criticism by telling them that they weren't a part of her community, so their opinion is irrelevant. I think that speaks for itself.
Yeah.
Now, do DK Stars and Jessica deserve the actual hate and harassment they've gotten? No, absolutely not. Believe it or not, they have done good for the SMITE community. It's just not highlighted because of the way they've been acting and because they're using it to try and guilt trip others. On DK Stars' stream, they have a goal of raising $10,000 for St. Jude's, which is a children's research hospital dedicated to advancing cures for pediatric cancer through research and treatment. As of editing this, they are currently around $1,300, and this is absolutely awesome to see. I'm extremely happy that you guys are making an effort to donate to charity, and I wish more creators would also push charitable donations. Does that negate any and all criticism? No, absolutely not. I understand that people might interpret this video as adding on to the harassment and toxicity they've received, but I don't believe that at any point in this video did I say anything toxic. I just pointed out flaws in their arguments and cracked a few jokes. You can have the opinion that this content is inherently negative, but that is just subjective and we'll have to agree to disagree. I believe Cardwell Legacy said it best when he said that none of this would have happened if they just shut their mouth, because very few people were calling them out specifically prior to DK Stars and Jessica's cry on Twitter. Again, just another example of irony. I guess I'll end this video by saying I don't plan on making similar videos like this one in the future, and this will be the last video that I make on any kind of 24/7 AFK drop content, whether that be about specific streamers or the topic in general. Since they made a 30+ minute response video going over my initial video, especially since it wasn't even about them, I think under her own morals, this is perfectly okay to do as well. The only difference is that this video is actually good. Feel free to leave your opinions in the comments, but please keep it civil, and again, under no circumstances is any form of harassment okay. This has been Black Eye, and I'll see you in the next video.